I'm here with Dr. Justin Pals today, and Dr. Pals is a chiropractor in Effingham, Illinois. But tell us a little bit about your practice, Dr. Pals.
Well, I've been in practice for 14 years now, and been in the same town, worked in the same area, which has gone very well. And then I would say I was introduced to NIS about 12 years ago. And in the last 4 to 5 years, I would consider myself an NIS practitioner. So I have been doing it for quite some time.
Great. And so what have you seen with NIS? I'm just curious how it's impacted your results, your clinical results, and your practice.
Well, now, as I said, it is my practice. When I first was introduced to it long ago, I started slowly implementing it with patients and just kind of testing the waters, if you will. I was fresh out of school and learning a lot of different techniques and just trying to figure out what fit for me. NIS protocols and procedures, if I did them correctly and followed what Dr. Phillips says, by far had the most dramatic results, that being symptom relief. So I just kept working with it and going to more of the modules, learning more information, which was new every year, which was really fantastic. And the results really drove me to focus almost exclusively on NIS. There is nothing that I've done up to this point that has been even close to the dramatic results that you can get with this very simple technique. So
was it hard for you to kind of make, is really what I've seen with NIS and chiropractors is that there's a fundamental paradigm shift that occurs away from the idea that we have to do something to intervene to the brain actually taking care of the problem itself. So was that a hard shift for you to make?
Yes, it was very difficult, if I'm being honest. And I did fight that for a while. And Dr. Phillips, again, alludes to that at times when he has these discussions. And he went through the same kind of experience from what he shares with us. But it again, was driven by the results. When somebody comes in, example, with low back stuff that we get all of the time, now I realize that some of the interference can be coming from, signaling that the brain's not giving back to L5 area. You can adjust that thing over and over again. And you are going to get more dramatic results if you mix in the NIS, is kind of what I was telling myself. So I just started doing that, and as it unfolded, the results did correct the problem that they came in with without me having to do more of the manual manipulation. And honestly, it was even more effective at that. So it is a difficult transition as a chiropractor, but as I would hope all of us are in this for is the result of getting the patient feeling better and living a healthier, more vibrant life. And as I stuck with it and stayed with it, that really came to light as being the easiest, most effective way to accomplish that goal.
Great. When you first started NIS, were you would you say you were more of a cash-based practice or an insurance-based practice?
When I first started, I was 50-50. I still did focus some on cash. Some graduating guys ahead of me had given me that advice because the insurance game was changing. I graduated in 2003. So they lived in the mid to late 90s when things were starting to take a dramatic shift. So I was given some very good advice on that. And I was half and half. And then as I've gone through the years, I've transitioned almost exclusively cash, which all NIS that I do is cash. And honestly, has been the best thing that I've done. It again, a scary transition, very scary, because you're worried that patients aren't going to be able to afford your care, aren't going to stay with your care. But again, they're seeking your counsel and your skill set to get them better. They're there for a reason, and if you do that, in turn, they're gonna do whatever it takes to stay with you and get it going. And then the other thing is they're going to tell their friends same thing. They'll ask, does he take insurance? No, he does not, but he will help you. And that again makes a dramatic difference. And when they're coming in with that mindset already, you don't have to, as a doctor, be the one going through and explaining why you do or don't take the insurance. So it's been by far one of the best things that I've done.
What have you seen, by the way, with referral rates with NIS?
I would say my referrals from patients are about 90% of what I see. So it's 9 out of 10 people who come in the door being referred from family or friends. And again, you help somebody with something, they've been everywhere and tried everything. They've got a lot of people they're going to share that with, because they've had these problems for a long time, and those friends and family have known they've tried a lot of stuff and it's not worked for them. And when you do get the dramatic result that you can get from NIS, they're singing your praise big time. So the referrals just kind of generate themselves. And it goes back to what I was saying. If you get people well, it really makes it an easy situation for you as a practitioner, not only to help no matter what walks in the door, but also to get them to tell others about you.
Yeah, speaking of what walks in the door, how would you say NIS has affected your confidence clinically in tackling difficult cases?
That's a great question, because that is something that you have to deal with. Is if you do help more difficult cases, it is definitely a more burdensome load as a practitioner. So you need an arsenal of skills behind you to help with that. And again, is why I gravitated more towards this system, because when they do come in, my confidence is about as high as it can get. One of two things: I'm either going to be able to help them or I'm not. And if I can't, then we're going to have to find some other avenues or ways for them to get into somebody else, because I know this work. I know it works. I know it does what it's intended to do. So it makes my confidence up quite a bit. I don't know if scared is the right word, but you don't get concerned about what comes in or worry about what cases come in. You just say, okay, what's going on with you? You start at the top, you work your way through, you see what happens, you come back, do it again, and then you kind of see a pattern start to set out. So year after year of doing that has made it very easy for me to take on the more difficult cases with confidence. And the other thing is validity. This is a big thing that I've kind of gotten into lately, that as a practitioner, you want that validity to be there so that when people come in, they already have the confidence that you're going to be able to help them. But you have to set that into place, and you have to get that reputation. And to do so, you need the results. And I have to give NIS all the credit for that. I'm well known around this area of kind of helping the worst of the worst cases. And that's all because of the work I do with the NIS. So it not only helps the confidence, it helps the validity as a practitioner, to be able to get people in, explain to them what you're going to do, and say, you just give this a chance, we'll see what happens, and then go from there.
That's wonderful. What would you tell another doctor who might be looking at investigating NIS? What would be your advice?
Well, my best advice is that the chiropractic scenario, if that's what you are, is changed dramatically. We need to be able to offer people more of a primary care, situation. We don't replace them. I don't take the place of any of their other practitioners. But when things come in and they've tried everything and been everywhere, you have to be able to make a difference for their life for them to be able to have confidence and stay with you. So, if you're out there looking for some of that in whatever capacity, this is definitely an avenue to investigate. And I can be at the simplicity of it, I guess is the easiest way to put it. There's a lot of systems out there and a lot of different techniques, none of which, in my opinion, have direct access stimulation to the brain to allow it to do its job and to do its work. We kind of do end arounds with a lot of these different techniques. This one is direct, and that's why I think the results are so good. So you need to be able to expand your horizons and take on a larger spectrum of patients. Example I give, I had a 2-week-old baby in last week, and I just worked on a 94-year-old patient. And everybody's in between, and both of which, again, you come back to that confidence factor. I went into the room knowing that we're going to be able to take this on and get them in better shape. So you got to be able to have that as well. It's okay to specialize in things, but that has to be something you're okay with as well, not being able to help a broader spectrum of patients. Yeah,
that's so true. I mean, there's no doubt. I haven't found any other system out there. And like you, I took a lot of different techniques before I learned NIS. And it's so unique in how we can actually access directly information from the brain and then get the brain to do the correction for us. It's a beautiful thing. And the other thing that I found is it just takes the stress out of practice. It makes it fun to go in there and with the patient, again, partly because of that increased confidence level that you end up with. So I really am appreciative of your time today, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about your experience with NIS.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Let me
Okay.
know anytime if you need anything else.
Okay. See you soon.
All right. Sounds good, Jim. See ya.
Bye-bye.